I know there's a lot of young men out there that think currently that the thing that will make them the happiest will be if they have a relationship. They find themselves a girlfriend, or for a woman, they find themselves a boyfriend. And I have a lot of people come to me and say, like, I've been doing this self-improvement stuff for a very long time now, and I still can't seem to get the attention of the women that I truly do desire. And I can really resonate with these people, because this is exactly how I felt for a large portion of my journey since kind of starting my self-improvement journey. I look back at where I was a couple of years ago, and I think to myself, I've improved a lot, and I'm still not really attracting the types of women that I really want to. And I think you've leveled up a lot. You've got a way better physique. You've worked on yourself personally. You're looking a lot better, without boasting, of course. So you think naturally you're gonna attract more women, right? Well, I believe, looking back, that this is not necessarily the case at all. It's likely you're gonna get a lot more attention off some women that may be a lot more degenerate than you. The type of women who you might see in the gym, if you go on dating apps or you go out to a nightclub, these types of women that you probably don't, deep inside of you, truly desire, are the women that you will attract, because they're kind of superficial reasons as to why you are somewhat higher value as a man. When you kind of truly think about the women that you'd want, would they truly think that you're a better man just because you've got a better physique, because you've got more money, because you're somewhat on paper more attractive or anything like this? They probably wouldn't, when you truly think what they would desire. They would want to be with someone who is themselves, so to speak, which might sound a bit cringe compared to what of some of the mainstream kind of advice that you'll hear from a lot of male influencers. So with the red pill, it's a lot more, you obviously work and build yourself, which I'm definitely not saying that you should just stop doing this, because I think it's massive and more for yourself than doing it for any other reason. But I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it is truly self-improvement and getting more money and going to the gym is the reason why you're not attracting the girlfriend or the boyfriend that you want in your life at all. I don't think that is the reason. That self-improvement on its own is not necessarily going to be the answer. It fixes a lot of things in our lives. We know this. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. But it's not necessarily the answer. This video isn't going to be me just saying that you're not good enough, you're too fat, you're too ugly, anything like this, because I don't believe that is the real reason. The chances are you watching this video are probably quite an attractive young man or woman, and you've probably got your head screwed on. You're probably better than 95% of the population, particularly when it comes to young people who are absolutely clueless when it comes to what they truly want in life, and especially relationships. A lot of people have no idea what they want, and they're kind of just looking for something short term or just a bit of pleasure. That's how most people will go about their life. And it's weird how I know all of this is true. And how do I know this? Because I was in this position. It was me. I thought the exact same as you. I used to say to my friend all the time, we've been doing this stuff for a long time. We're still not really, it's not really what I thought it would be. When I look back a couple of years ago, and I'd be like, yeah, if I build this body, if I become a lot more confident, if I get some more money, then I'm gonna kind of get women, right? Well, it's just not necessarily the case at all. Yeah, like I say, you're only gonna attract these women who, like I say, aren't really the women that you want in your life. They're not the woman you want to be your future wife. As I said, the things you need to consider in my video the other week, they're not the woman that you want to have kids with. But I'm going to give you some advice on why you probably don't have a girlfriend. I'm assuming you don't if you're watching this video. It's hard for me somewhat to say, because obviously I'm currently not in a relationship, but from my experience, like I say with all my videos, it comes down to what I've learned in my lessons and how you can overcome the problems that we're all facing. And I know a lot of you have been struggling with relationships and maybe finding someone who's compatible for you. And I know it's a big struggle for a lot of young people, because it's very hard to kind of navigate the dating market these days. I've made a lot of videos on this, and I completely understand all your struggles you're going with. So I've taken some time to really think about the most important things, why you don't, and why you just shouldn't worry about this, because it is like self-improvement. It's all about delaying gratification and knowing that your time will come if you continue to put your work in, and it's just a question of when it will happen and not if. And the first thing that I need you to kind of put inside of your mind and make you 100% realize is that you are not average. Okay? Like, the average man is overweight, the average man is divorced, and the average man has less than 1k in his bank account. Let me repeat that to you. The average man is fat and overweight. The average man is divorced, and the average man has less than £1,000 in his bank account. You don't want to be like this man at all. And you might think, like I did as well, you will see younger men similar to your age, and you think, well, why has he got a girlfriend and I've not? And me and my friends speak about this quite a lot. But at the end of the day, a lot of these people are average, and they're going to settle for average kind of partners, and you don't want that. And in the long run, it's never going to work realistically, because you think you're someone who has a lot of ambition, and when you want to go far in your life, and settling down with this woman, no offense to her, or the same if you're a woman and you settle with a man who's kind of not got that same level of drive and ambition and wants to go to places like you do, it's never going to work in the long run, is it? If you settle with this person, quite frankly, a lot of people will be happy with that kind of mediocre life. It takes a special character and person to kind of go that extra level and go and chase something that's more meaningful and purposeful than just the average kind of scripted life that a lot of people will follow, because a lot of people don't have those kind of life experiences and that kind of push away to kind of go and chase something out of the ordinary, which is entrepreneurship. At the end of the day, is that risk involved. No one knows, there's no guarantee, there's not someone there to pay you every month like there is in a job, and it takes a special type of character to kind of go down this path. So that's a very important point. You're not that average guy. You don't want to be with an average woman who, at the end of the day, yes, she might give you some pleasure in the short term especially, and if it's been a while for you, I can understand why a lot of people do jump at this opportunity, because it's hard. I know what it's like, I really do. It's been very frustrating, and it just takes time. But you have to think about your kind of dream girl, like it is with your life. You think about your visualizations, your dream life, what you want it to look like. You should be doing the same with the woman you want to be with. It doesn't have to be looks, because I don't think that's the best way to kind of judge a woman. It may be more her character, her values, her visions. As I said on my previous video, everything you need to consider in your future wife, go check that video out. Like, there's girls out there that I do like, and one or two in particular that I would like to be with, but they are not on the market at the moment. And you have to consider that this might be something that has been a big problem for you. Maybe there's a couple of girls that you like out there, but they're in a relationship, and you think, oh, every girl that I like is in a relationship. Well, let me put this way. Well, why do you think that? At the end of the day, any girl that is probably in a relationship and is a girl that you like, chances are a lot of guys also like her too. She's very desirable, that's why you like her, and she's going to have options. And it probably is the case that she has met some guy that maybe is not as compatible as she would be with you, but because she's known this guy before and when she was single, she's probably more likely to go for that guy. So you have to be patient and realise that eventually a girl will come around who is a lot more compatible. for you than just an average girl that you might meet on a dating app, or a girl that you meet on a night out who is not right for you whatsoever, but because she's available and she's given you some interest that you've not had for a long time, you decide to jump at the opportunity, which is definitely one of the worst mistakes that you could make in your life, in the short term and the long term. Especially if you've got these big goals and you're on self-improvement, you want to work on something that's bigger than you, that means more, that's going to be remembered for decades. That's got to be your main priority, and then let the woman, the man in your life turn up when the time is right. They eventually they will come to you, because there's realistically, how many people do you know like you? Really, not many. I don't really know anyone at all. So at the end of the day, especially with age, you're going to become more desirable, you're going to become more of a rarity. So that is the most important point that I think I can give you when it comes to why you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend in your life. And the second point is, good things do take time. You have to remember that everything is compounding every single day. So you'll probably notice, especially if you're a younger man, that you'll probably end up getting a lot more attention as you get a little bit older, as you kind of build your value. Going back to that kind of red pill analogy, you're going to become a lot more attractive to a broader range of women as you get older, because you've worked on yourself. You have that rarity that a lot of young men don't have. You are an attractive young man. You've worked on your body. You've worked on your wealth. All of these stuff that, as I said, you might not attract necessarily the exact woman on paper by doing this, but at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot more luck overall when you kind of have worked on yourself. And it is, I do believe, when it becomes to finding someone who you want to be your girlfriend, someone serious that you want to spend the rest of your life, a lot of it is going to come down to who you are inside and who they are inside, more than their external kind of value. Because you got to remember that looks are going to fade, even for men too, as we know that a man's kind of journey is different to a woman's, but at the end of the day, your looks are going to fade too. And I don't think it is right, especially as I've kind of grown a bit older and matured. I've learned that that's not the best way to kind of look at a partner, is not to just look at their external value or what kind of things that everyone else kind of looks at, like their money or materialistic possessions. These stuff that aren't going to make you any happier, isn't going to make the relationship any better. Because I look at relationships that I see in my own life. For example, one of my cousins who has been with a partner for a very long time, they've got 3 kids who they've brought up amazing, and it's made me want kids more than I ever thought I really would. And I look at them, and they don't have the most money, they don't have things that a lot of other people I see have in their relationship, but it's probably one of the best natural organic relationships that I've ever seen in my life. And once you kind of go outside and truly see these for yourself, and see it with your own eyes, and take some time away from social media, and that all these women are just hoes and on OnlyFans, and all these guys are just smoking cigars and making money through selling courses and stuff, you see what truly is meaningful for a lot of people and what you truly want in your life. But that's a bit of a kind of a side note, but you have to remember that you are compounding every single day, and it will take time. It might be a month, or it might be 2 months, it might be 5 months, a year later, but you will truly look back and be like, yeah, I put a lot of work in, and now I'm a lot more attractive to the woman that I can potentially spend the rest of my life with, which is, like I say, such an important thing to consider, and a decision that should not be taken lightly whatsoever. Third point I have for you is having an abundance mindset. So you just got to let things flow a lot more. And this is something that I've really started to do recently, because I feel like, especially when it comes to women and money, I've been very kind of like, she's not texting back, and I get really like just upset about it, and been really kind of frugal with money and stuff. But I've realised, like, you've got to just have that abundance mindset, that be like, yeah, everything kind of comes and goes through my life, and I've got to just let things flow naturally. And I think that is an extremely good way to kind of approach the dating market, because you see these guys that are really needy, you see these guys that can't get are incels at the end of the day, all these kind of black pill guys, and that they are needy, they are desperate for it, and that is just repulsive to women. And any guy that is that, it doesn't really matter how kind of attractive he might look, it's just not attractive in any way to the woman. If she just sees him there, he's just like texting all the time, he's just like, oh, I need to see you, I miss you, and all of this stuff. It's just not what a woman wants whatsoever. So you need to be I don't want to say like, oh, you should just not care at all, but you kind of need to just let things just flow and be like, yeah, okay, if this happens then it's good, but if not, then I kind of know my value. I know that I'm a man that's building on my values, and I've got bigger things that I need to worry about in my life than just one woman. And if she's not going to give me the time of day, then I need to we need to go our separate ways, and I need to focus on what matters to me, and just be okay with that, and not get too down bad like I would do, and I know a lot of young men do. I think that's a very kind of important rule to follow, and is kind of one of the rules of the universe. If you like look them up, the law of abundance, without getting too spiritual, is very, I believe it is very true, and I've kind of witnessed it when I've kind of just let things flow naturally. It's one of the best things you can do. So if you can just do that for going forward a lot more, then I feel like you will receive a lot more back from the universe. And yeah, I feel like that's a very important point that you need to consider as to why you might not have the woman that you want in your life. And the final point, which is somewhat a bit obvious, but a lot of people still aren't doing, particularly in the world that we are living in, is just to go outside a bit more. Just go outside, go for a walk, just go out and be a lot more sociable, and travel the world as much as you possibly can. Get out and go away as much as you can, because a lot of people we know just spending a lot of time on screens, and that's kind of all they see. They might not even see their family for a whole day, which is an incredibly kind of sad thought. But a lot of people are living their lives in the metaverse these days, and I honestly can't see it really getting any better. I think it is just going to get worse as time goes on, and I truly do worry for our young generation. But truly consider, how much are you really spending your time outdoors? Where you got to think about it, like, you might be this guy, I've said this a lot to my friend, you might be this guy that's kind of ticking all the boxes, but if you're not in a situation where you can meet new people, then it's not going to happen, is it? If you're invisible to everyone, no one's going to know you kind of exist. So you've got to put yourself out in sociable situations, and go to new places, and make sure you do stuff that's actually in line with what you want to do and where you want to be. Don't just go to these degenerate nightclubs, because you're not, like, we know you don't find the women there that you want to have kids with, you don't find your wife there, so it's just a waste of time. You're going to waste your money, you're going to feel worse. We know all of this stuff. You need to be in these places. It's hard to kind of pinpoint exactly where these places are, but like I say, if you just travel around, see new places, even just like sitting in a cafe, just going for walks, you're naturally gonna bump into new people, you're going to improve your social skills. And when it comes to the time where that woman appears in your life, who I honestly do believe will come when the time is right for you, and you don't need to kind of worry, I need to be in exact this position at this time and then I'll find them. I just, like I say, you got to let things flow through your life. But that is my kind of lessons on maybe why you don't have a girlfriend. It's a note, it's a video, like I say, with a lot of my videos, it's to my younger self. It's just to kind of just relax a bit and be like, yeah, it's not kind of what you think. You don't need to just continue to just go to the gym every day. You don't need to just have all this money and that's going to make you successful, that's going to get you, because you kind of realize that once you kind of do achieve some of these goals, it doesn't make you any happier, it doesn't make you that much more appealing to women at all. But maybe that's helped you too, if you are in a similar situation to how I was maybe 3 months ago, or even less, very recently, and you kind of feel that you should have that woman in your life but it's not there. Just don't worry about it and consider these points, and maybe you'll take some time to think about it, and it might not kind of sync with you right now, but maybe come back to this in 3-6 months, and I hope it does help you, whether that's now or long term. But yeah, I really hope that's helped, guys. And link below if you want personal advice on your current situation. I'd be really happy to help you. So my personal coaching link will be below to work one-on-one with me. And yeah, like and subscribe, comment to boost the algorithm, as I've been told to say in my videos. But you know, let's get this channel to grow. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Take care.